Welcome to A Night with a Medium, starring Tessa Del Zoppo. Broadcasting live from the Yowawa Media Studios high above the beautiful city of Niagara Falls, New York. Thank you for joining us, and we welcome each of you for a spirit-filled evening.
Hi everybody, welcome to A Night with a Medium. Tonight's going to be an awesome show. I have another awesome guest, and I'm hoping that our Skype is working this week because I'm very excited to bring him on. But first and foremost, I want to tell you guys that finally I have my own YouTube channel. I posted it on both my Facebooks earlier. So I want to start the show off by letting you guys know if you subscribe to my channel, if you share it and then comment somebody's name below in the comments, your name will be in a drawing for a free reading with me. So if you guys can do that this week, next week I'll be revealing who won the free reading. And I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited to have more platforms for this show because I've been having fun with it. It's been catching on. I have so many amazing guests lined up to come and talk with me. So I'm very excited about it. Tonight's guest, though, is a friend of mine, Mike Anthony. He is known he's a face at Hamilton on Broadway, right? Hi, Mike.
The face, yes.
The face of Hamilton. That's why I have this beautiful screen behind me. So you work at Hamilton on Broadway, and truly I think you're the star. I mean, just an opinion. But can you let us know a little bit about, well, let's first start with how we met. So, you work at Hamilton. The way we met, though, was because of a documentary that you were making in regards to mediumship and having your own personal reading when your father passed away. And you and I got into contact somehow. I still don't even remember how. But if you want to talk a little bit about just Hamilton and how we got connected.
Sure, yeah. My life took this wild sort of turn after my dad passed. I'd been working as a bartender on Broadway for a long time. You know, I'm an actor from time to time as well, and bartending was sort of my day job. And then my dad passed, and I had this experience with a medium that totally floored me and instantly changed the course of my life and what I was focusing on, because when this thing happened, it just felt like there was this whole other world that I had not been aware of, and it entirely changed my sense of reality. Yeah. So I started looking more into that because I mentioned before that before I became an actor, I had wanted to be a high school science teacher. So I have always been interested in science, and I believe in the scientific method, and I require evidence. Yeah. And then I was stunned to find out that there actually is ridiculous evidence out there.
Yeah. That's true.
That there are things that happen that mainstream, quote unquote, mainstream science, materialistic science, does not currently allow for. So I had to look further into that, and it's been astounding. And that's how I started to make a documentary about the experiments, the casual experiments I was doing with a medium. And then I wanted to bring in more mediums, and that's how you and I met.
Yeah, that's very true. And it's awesome because I'm a huge fan of Broadway. Both of us, you and I, have a background in entertainment in one way or another. We had talked a little earlier about how I'm kind of jumping into acting, and that's something I've been wanting to do for a while. But for me, everybody always hears me talk about entertainment, dance, acting, whatever your outlet is, artistic-wise, is usually our outlet. As having intuition and having some level of, whether it be an empathic ability, me as a medium, psychic abilities, and you need to be able to channel that somehow. So, you're working at a very, very famous, well-known, and historical place, Hamilton, on Broadway. So do you want to tell us a little bit about maybe any experiences that you had there, and maybe just the environment in general?
Man, the experience of Hamilton, it's been one of the most powerful experiences of my life. Just before Hamilton started, I was about to leave. I'd been bartending for such a long time, and I had not been auditioning anymore, and I felt like it had become this sort of safe thing that I was doing, and it was feeling like I needed to take a leap, or I was going to be a bartender forever. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just felt like there were more things I wanted to explore. So I had like a foot out the door. And then there was all of this buzz about this show happening at a theater downtown called Hamilton. And when we found out it was coming to the theater that I am the bar manager for, I thought, well, maybe I'll just hang out a little bit more here. Let me just see what this Hamilton thing is about. And then, before I knew it, I was, meeting Barack Obama, for instance, and having all of these extraordinary experiences. And of course, beyond that, the show itself, as everyone now can have access to on Disney Plus, the show is extraordinary.
I was excited about that.
Have you watched it?
I have not watched it yet, but I know heard that it was on there. There's this whole buzz about it, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I think they did a really, as I'm sure it's hard. Live theater is its own medium, and translating it to film is not an easy task. And I don't even know if it's not entirely possible. Right. But what they did with this production is fantastic. I really think it captures a great deal of the essence and the power. And yeah, I was utterly blown away that very first night. I got to watch it in an empty theater. My friend Marie and I, basically, Lynn invited some of the house staff who happened to be there to watch the last run through. And I knew nothing about it. And it was utterly, it was mind blowing.
Mm-hmm. No, I bet. You had said that you had met Barack Obama. I had a cool picture of you that I used for my my advertisement, but it's one with Teresa Caputo. So you met her there as well?
I did, yeah. Teresa came twice to see the show, and she was just the sweetest she could possibly be. Yeah. And also her husband, I think now her ex-husband, Larry. Just he and I got to chat more than I did with Teresa, actually, and what a great guy. Yeah. Just such a great guy. Yeah, that
I can only imagine the amount of, big named people that come through there. I mean, Broadway is Broadway, so everybody, most people want to experience that at least once in a lifetime, but to have the bigger name people coming in and being able to communicate with them, talk to them, I'm sure that's changed, your life really in general. And now that leads me to, I had seen on Facebook too that you have a book coming out called Life at Hamilton.
I do, yes, yeah. I started sharing some of these stories, these things that I was witnessing, and most of it's not celebrities. Most of it is just these, getting to watch people react every day to the show, particularly little kids. The impact the show has had on them was really a beautiful thing. Like, for instance, kids will come in sometimes and they're crying as soon as they enter the door. They're crying just to be there. And these kids are like, 12, 13, they're kids. So I just started sharing some of these stories, and they started to get spread beyond my circle of friends, and eventually a woman named Stephanie Garrison Good, who's a fantastic author, found them, and she is helping me to put this book together. So we're hoping in August it'll be published. Yeah. Life at Hamilton.
Life at Hamilton. I love it, and I think I gave you my opinion on which book cover that I liked that you had posted. So I'm really, really looking forward to reading that when it comes out. And I'm going so many different stories.
I'm going with your book cover because you never disagree with a psychic. That's a mistake.
I think it's just you never disagree with an Italian woman. I think that's what it is. Forget being a medium. It's just don't disagree with the Italian women. We had talked a little bit about, I'm going to kind of backtrack a little bit, but about the documentary that you had originally, reached out to me and we had discussed before. You had some, film already put out there, pieces of that documentary where you were working with different psychics. And I thought it was interesting. A lot of people, for me at least, when they come to me as a medium, what I strive for is giving people what's known as evidential information. from their loved ones to validate for them that it's actually that person that I'm speaking with. And what better than, to be able to pinpoint whether it be, a name of somebody or something that somebody just recently did that their loved one was watching over. But you had said that there was the medium that you had first went to when your father had passed, and you mentioned something. Was it about your hair or something about your? You said, like, Dad, if this is really you coming through, mention something about my hair, and by the end of the reading, she mentioned it, right?
That's
Can you
right.
just let
Yeah,
me know,
she.
like, from your point of view, like, how did that make you feel? Or I sound like a counselor. The counselor's coming out of me. How did that make you feel? But, what were you feeling when she did that for you?
Well, it changed my life in a second. When my dad passed, it was an utter shock. My dad was only 60, and he was a very young 60, and we were incredibly close. And I was, I was in despair. I don't know what the right words are to use. It was,
Right.
I was. Depression, is not the right word. It was something else. I was in a full-blown existential crisis. And because scientifically, the thought is that when a person dies, they're gone, right? That's
Right.
what science believes. And that thought that everything that my dad had ever been, all of that love and all of his dreams and desires could just suddenly have disappeared as though it had never existed.
Right.
I was like, well, then what's the point of anything at all? So that's the place where I was mentally when my sister hired this medium. And when she said, he wants to talk about your hair, which was the code
Yeah.
I had given him, I mean, it was like a ladder being suddenly thrown into this pit and yanking me up. It totally changed my life in an instant, because in that moment I could not see how it could be coincidence, the way that it all happened.
Right. No, absolutely. And that's, like I said, evidential mediumship, I think, for me, is very important. And you see a lot of the bigger named, I guess you can say bigger named mediums, or those who are famous for that. They use the same thing. They're good at evidential information. They're able to receive those things from your loved ones to validate it for you. And, I thought that to me, that was one of the most interesting parts, I think, when you brought that up about the hair. And then there was another one about a puppy, wasn't it? Is that right? Something about like a puppy and the name Rose?
Yes, that was with a different medium, Lisa O'Connor. She's here in Connecticut, and yes, on the way over, so my, being the good bartender scientist that I am,
Yeah.
I thought, well, I need to replicate this experiment. So I went to see this other medium, and we were filming this, and in the car, I said, okay, so here's one of the things I'd like to hear, because my friend and I had just met this puppy named Rose, and this medium hit on that. She said, puppy. There's a big deal about a puppy, and then a little while later she said, and who's Rose?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness.
Those are
gracious.
mind-blowing
Because
moments. Yeah.
totally, and you need that evidence. Without the evidence, obviously, it can be healing no matter what, but for someone like me, I need to trust that the information is coming from where I think it's coming from.
Yeah.
And that's why that sort of evidence, the way that you and other evidential mediums provide, is so important.
Yeah. And that ties into, using mediums and psychics for like investigative cases, missing persons, homicides. You see quite bring somebody like myself in, which I've worked on a couple cases, and being able to channel that is the key. It really is the key. You need evidential information to try to find and place these pieces together for families who have either lost somebody or unfortunate events like a homicide and things like that. And and then that's another thing that you and I had talked about a documentary being made. I believe it's called Surviving Death, right? And so that is going to be streaming on a major platform, which we're not allowed to say, but Surviving Death. And one of the things that we talked about was bringing me on for talking about the investigative cases that I've worked on in the past. Is there anything you want to talk about in regards to that, Surviving Death? You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, Surviving Death is a book written by Leslie Kane, who's an amazing investigative journalist. Has become a good friend of mine, and there's going to be a documentary series released sometime. It looks like in the fall. That's going to be a 6-part series. Sorry, that's Socks behind me.
I was going to say, I love your cat. He's just so interested. Look at him.
Yes. So Leslie wrote an amazing book that sort of brings together all of the best lines of evidence that we currently have, suggesting that consciousness is something that can exist outside of the skull, basically. That it permeates beyond this little space. And can have influence and be perceived in other ways. So, and mediumship is one of those ways. And something that, the part about looking, law enforcement working with mediums or psychics, for instance, to help with unsolved missing persons cases, for instance, and things like that, that's not part of this series, but that's something that they might potentially explore in the future at some point. That's something that they're interested in looking at. So yeah, that series I highly recommend, because some of the experiences that I've had since I had that hair moment have gone so far beyond pieces of information, and they've moved into the physical mediumship realm, and that is something that is so far outside of the average person's sense of reality that I hesitate to get too into it in a short form like this. So I'll just say read Leslie's book, because she really explores it, and she lays out all of the evidence step by step, and it leads up to this more, for a lot of people it will be harder to accept evidence, but that evidence is astounding. Some of it is truly astounding, and for me it leaves me in zero doubt that things happen in this universe that Mr. Vance, my 7th grade physics teacher, would say are impossible. Right. But I now have no doubt that those things happen. So that series and Leslie's book really is a great way to get into all of that stuff in a more thorough way.
Yeah. I think evidence is extremely important, because, even for me at my show at the casino, the one thing that I announced is I'm not here to prove, that mediums are real. But just by sitting in the audience and having that experience for yourself and witnessing somebody else having that experience, or hearing them and seeing reactions, like, it's all about witnessing it and seeing for yourself. And then, being impacted personally by it, whether, I'm reading that person directly and they have that experience themselves, it completely changes your mind. Because, whether it be religion or science or whatever it is that we're taught growing up, this is way far outside of that, I think. For me, it was always normal, because it's something that I've seen and dealt with my entire life. But, for other people who don't have that gift, it is something totally, entirely new. So it's very interesting. And I think, too, I don't know if you've ever seen, I don't remember what show it was on. They've probably done it more than once now, but have you ever seen where they test the brain waves? Like, they actually, it might have been Teresa Caputo, I'm not sure, where they sit down and she's reading somebody and they literally look at the brain waves as she's channeling to try to prove that something's going on while she's doing this. Have you ever seen that? Oh, I think we lost his audio.
With, EEGs. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope, you're better now.
Am I back?
Yep.
Yeah, they will do EEGs, electroencephalograms of the brain, and what's more interesting to me are functional MRIs, which are basically in real time looking at what parts of the brain are lighting up while a person is thinking or recalling a memory as opposed to imagining something, for instance. And those are areas that I'd love to explore further, and there have been some scientific studies that look into that at the University of Virginia, for instance, and the University of Arizona. But more needs to be done, and more will be done. That's the problem right now. A lot of this stuff is still taboo in the scientific world. If you're a research scientist at a major university, you are taking a great risk by proposing a study like that. Yeah. Because it is so far outside of the realm of what is currently accepted to be science, and it shouldn't be that way, right? I mean, that's what science is supposed to be. You're supposed to see an anomaly and then figure out what it is. And there are so many quote unquote anomalies out there that at some point you have to start to say, well, let's connect these dots. So a lot more research needs to be done, and I know that's what I'm hoping to do, and I know that that's what Leslie Kean is hoping to do with her book and the this project that's coming out, is get these ideas more out into the mainstream so that it's okay for science, because it shouldn't be a bartender, well, obviously, right? Exploring these questions, the most important questions of all time. It should be people much smarter than I am. And I would like to just make it okay for those people to do that without facing backlash, any kind of academic or career backlash.
Yeah, I think you've been placed, I always say people, you're in the right place, and you're there for a reason. Whether we believe so or not, whether it might be hard or we feel like things are off or we're not where we need to be, you're always in the right place, for a reason in that moment. And I think with your background as acting and theater and all these things, and then being in such a historical place, meeting people the way that you do, I think you've been placed in that position for a reason. And by doing these documentaries and getting that evidence and the information and making the connections that you do, it's all leading to something else. Because I really believe, and this is intuition kicking in, but I think, and I think Jimmy too, I introduced you to Jimmy, who's here in the studio with me. He's another medium. He mentioned as well that post this COVID and, because everything's on pause right now, but I think your documentary is going to keep going. And I think it's going to be great. I think people need to see that type of stuff. I get a lot of people all the time who, if they've never been read before, if they've never had a reading, they are kind of, skeptical, which is fine by me. I kind of love skeptics because I love seeing their face once I kind of trigger something or I validate for them. I think it's fun. But so Leslie Kean is her name, right? Leslie Kean, and her book is Surviving Death. I'm going to have to read that myself. And then we're going to have to take a look out for your book, Life in Hamilton. And is there anything else you want to touch on? Because we're going to do, this is the other thing. The other half of my show I do live readings, and I let people call in, and I make it very kind of impromptu. I don't see anybody, I don't really know names, and I read them live, So we're going to hop to that in a few minutes. But is there anything else that you want to bring up or talk about? Oh, we lost his audio again.
Oh, did you lose me again? I'm sorry.
There you are. Found you.
Am I back? Okay. I would just say that I really encourage people to look into this stuff because I feel like I'm living in two totally separate worlds. I go to work and I buy groceries and I do all of these things. But then I have this other part of my life that is so mind-blowing and heart-expanding and perspective-expanding that it totally changes everything. And things are so hard right now, of course, for a multitude of reasons all over the planet, right? There's all sorts of injustice, and there's COVID and all of these difficult things. But then there's this, when I research this stuff, it so expands your perspectives, and it can really, I think, also give a lot of hope, because there is hard evidence there that there is much more to life than what meets the eye.
Yeah. And I'm putting out a book as well. I'm still working on it, but it's getting
Great.
there. And it's really about the lessons that I've learned as a medium and the things that I've come across, whether it be during my readings or just things I've experienced through my life. And saying that it's kind of like a double life is very true, because I think a lot of people knowing me throughout school or at the studios that I was at, like they knew me as kind of the nerd and the dancer, and I was always performing and things like that. And then when I finally went public with being a medium, people were like, what are you talking about? Like they didn't even know that I was a medium, you know what I mean? Because I think society creates these boundaries and things like that. And then growing up in an Italian household and Catholic and everything like that, it wasn't really something that everybody talked about openly. So having kind of a platform to do that now, and I think the different shows on TV that you see, it really kind of puts it out there, and it has people wanting more and wanting to learn more and understand more. So between my book, your book, just these documentaries, things coming out, hopefully we could create a whole new world. It's a little Aladdin reference. I think we lost his audio again. But I appreciate so much having you on and being able to talk with you. And, I want to thank you again for taking the time out to sit with us.
It's been such a pleasure. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Oh, can you hear me? Oh, good. Yes, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. You keep doing what you do.
Absolutely. Well, we will be talking soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, Mike.
Bye-bye.
right. So, Peter, are we ready to kind of make the switch? Because I'd like to join Jimmy over there. He's waiting patiently.
All right. And Julian in the audio booth is doing quite well back there. Thank you. Yeah, that was a little hard, by the way. A couple of people said they couldn't hear Tessa, but where we are next to our microphones, etc., is very important. That way we can hear a full-bodied sound. And we get a lot of fans running in the studio. The difference between melting and hearing.
My hair already lost its curl. I tried to put my mouth as close to Marilyn. This is my microphone, Marilyn.
Oh, she's lovely.
Isn't she beautiful? I try to put my mouth as close to that as possible, but I don't know. Hopefully.
It happens. We're getting there. Yeah. So, yeah, we're Cole, our tech, our video tech, is going to run a quick minute and a half video where we reposition, and we have Jimmy Moses coming with us.
Here we go. Moving. Right, we're back, and we have Jimmy back with us. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Our last podcast that we had together, it got deleted, so...
I was so ticked.
I was so angry.
You texted me midnight.
I was in a rage. I'm like, our show got deleted. That's what happens. Some people are bored and they like to hack profiles and delete our stuff. But now that we have it streaming on YouTube, and we're going to be putting it on other platforms through, what is it, Buzzsprout, I think it is, yeah? So it'll go on Apple Podcasts and things like that, to where people can just hear the audio. And
nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be good. I'm glad to have you back.
They were telling me earlier I have the distinction of being the first repeat, right?
Yeah, you are.
It was I remember when I was a kid, I was watching SNL, and my mom was like, Britney Spears is coming back again. And I want to see she broke the record for being on in a short number. So I'm like,
that's probably going to be you. You're going to be like my Britney Spears.
Of the Tessa.
Yeah.
Goes up a podcast. I'm honored.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, so, pretty soon what we're going to do is we're going to put a number up, and we're going to start taking some live calls eventually. I didn't hear it. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do, because this is also going to be audio, the number to call in is 716-226-0693. And so we're going to be taking calls pretty soon. I'm excited. I feel like this week especially, we've been, I think both of us have been doing a lot of readings. There's been a lot of just, I don't know if it's just energy in general happening with everybody, but just the readings have been intense for me.
Heavy.
Heavy. But a lot of them, I feel like a lot of people are reaching out. I'm constantly just, I don't know. What do you think? I know you said today there's been a lot of energy for people, because we pick things up even before people call in. So, we start channeling and we start receiving things before we even speak to somebody.
Yeah, coming here, sometimes you kind of know as a medium going into a reading if it's gonna be heavy or not.
Yeah.
Today, I don't know how to describe it. Today, I just got this vibe that there's gonna be someone calling in tonight for something that's. Part of me is, and if you are watching this out there, or maybe it's delayed, maybe they get to them tomorrow. I feel like there's a child who passed in a car. Is what I kept getting. I almost like the kid was really young, like 2 or 3 years old. Something. So I don't know if that's you. Call in.
Yep,
I just
feel
feel like
free
the
to call
family
in.
needs closure, and they've been bugging me all day. There's
Yeah.
also like a Maxwell or a Max for
Ooh,
somebody.
Yes, I remember you. Oh, look at here we go. We got one call.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's take it. Oops, if I can make it work. Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Hi,
Hi, who are we talking with?
Bernadette.
Bernadette, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for calling in. We have Jimmy here. And is there a question that you have for him or myself?
So that's how, okay. I've never done this before.
No, that's okay. I mean, because we're not face to face and stuff, you can ask any type of question really regarding anybody who's passed. If there's somebody that you wanted to connect with, I always tell people when you call in, if there is somebody in specific you want to connect with who's passed, just give us a first name. It kind of gives us an energetic connection to be able to start to tune in a little bit better. So yeah, if there's a
Right.
question that you have about that, anything, going forward in life, anything that's happened in the past that you need, some validation from through spirit?
Okay. I recently had a loss,
Okay.
and I was wondering if they are at peace.
Do you want to, okay, so, I mean, first and foremost, I want to say this is kind of like a general thing, but they're always
Right,
at peace.
right.
They're always at peace when they pass. I want to make that very clear. There's horror stories that I've heard of other people like going to a medium and they're telling them that they're sad or they're upset or they're angry and all these things that are so not true. When spirit passes, no matter what's affected them mentally, physically, here in the physical world, that's gone. So they always are at peace. So I want to start off by saying that. Do you pick anything up, Jimmy, in
Yeah.
regards to anything?
I got two things. Can I ask you, when they were here physical, was he a busybody? So, for example, because the
What do you mean
impression
by
that
busybody?
they would have liked to have kept busy. They would have had small projects. They would have tried to fix things, because what I'm being shown is that on the other side right now, he's still trying to stay busy. He's still trying to do little things. He checks in on the grandkids quite a bit. And can I also ask, who has the rose bush? Does somebody have a flower bush in the backyard?
Yes.
Okay, is that
Yeah.
you? Or
A
who?
rose bush.
Oh, beautiful. Who's got the rose
No.
bush then?
He did.
Beautiful. Is somebody tending to it still? Like, is there somebody that's... Uh-oh. Is there, are you... Oh, okay, good. You're still there. Is somebody still alive
Yeah.
that's tending to it?
I think that someone is.
Good.
I think someone is tending to it.
Good. Because I don't know, I almost feel like they just really like the aesthetic
Yeah.
of having this beautiful backyard or wherever this rose bush was. Just know that they're around the grandkids quite a bit. I'm not sure...
Is there, I don't mean
Go
to
ahead,
like, jump
I'm
in. Is there
sorry.
something about like golfing? Like, did this person like to golf or something about being outdoors a lot and being active that way as well? I know Jimmy had said something about being active or, kind of like a busybody, always doing something. But I almost feel like they want to say, like, I'm back to being able to do these things. For whatever reason, I keep getting something about the leg, like my knee almost feels numb or my leg feels numb. So I almost feel like something would have affected their ability to walk around and do what they used to do, because I feel like they're just like, can you just let her know that I'm back to doing all the activities that I used to do? So if that makes sense to you. And also, I do feel like, I don't know if there's something about, like, did he pass in his sleep, or was it almost the sense, because he says, I feel like I just went to sleep. So you had initially asked, like, are they at peace? And he gave me this feeling of, like, it's almost like I went to sleep and I want her to know there was no suffering. Does that make sense to you?
Well, ironically, you're hitting two recent deaths.
Okay. Yep. Which happens
And
sometimes.
you've hit both of them.
Okay.
Like, this has been in the past month.
Okay. Okay. So, just to because sometimes, for us on my end, it's so weird. I wish people knew what was going on in my head. It's hard for us to kind of sometimes, I don't know if they were connected in some way, but to identify almost which is which. Do you want to give us the names of the two people who have passed?
Yes, they were connected. They were actually brothers.
Oh, that's probably why. They feel very similar in energy. Is there also a military connection?
No military with either one.
Okay.
What were the names? The first
Henry
names?
and Frank.
Okay, so I got the F. Good.
What uniform did they wear then? Is there something about a uniform? Because they're very formal with it. Like they stood and they adjusted like a uniform of some sort. That's why I was like, I don't know if they... Well, we get lots of calls.
No uniform.
Bernard, can I ask, was Henry the one, I almost feel like his passing, was his more recent than Frank's?
Yeah.
Was he
Yeah.
in a great deal? I know it sounds weird. His passing, I feel like, was uncomfortable. Like when you were talking about the legs, I felt like this one, I feel like was not a pretty passing. Do you understand this? Like I feel like I felt like it happened really fast, but it was enough to be uncomfortable. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. I do. And that's correct.
I also have to ask.
Happened very fast.
Their mom is deceased as well. Do you understand? Because I feel like mom was there to pick him up, especially. I feel like, thank you. Frank is saying, I'm so sorry, I'll be brief, but Frank is telling me, that's fun though, we got lots of callers.
Lots of callers.
Frank is saying that I feel like he in particular did not want to go. He was sticking his tongue out and shaking his head going, no, 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 no. I almost feel like he's making the joke, like if you want to get me, you got to drag me out of this world. And so I feel like mom came to get him because I feel like mom took no crap. And I feel like mom would have been the one to go, get your you-know-what over here right now.
Did mom have something to do with the lungs? Did something affect her lungs? Because I keep hearing like coughing or like she had a hoarse kind of voice to her. Does that make sense?
Not my mother, but both brothers died of lung cancer.
They did. Okay, because I keep hearing like coughing behind me, which would have symbolized that. And the last thing I want to say, because spirit, unless I pinpoint it for you, they won't let it go, and they keep going back to this idea of a uniform. There's it might not even be a military uniform. It could be any uniform in general, but one of them are referencing a picture of them in a uniform. And they keep saying, like, we look very handsome in this uniform of some sort, and he adjusts it. And it's almost like they go back to the time where they feel they were at their best. So this would have been a younger... School? I don't know. It's a uniform. I just keep feeling like a uniform of some sort. And, like, I look really good in the uniform is what I keep hearing. So I don't know if there's a picture.
They both went all through Catholic school, and they wore a uniform. But that would be the only... Even their jobs, they didn't have a uniform. Okay, so would be the only uniform.
What I like to say then is, because they show me a picture of it, keep in mind a picture, because as you go forward and you look through pictures, and I'm sure that happens, everybody looks through pictures when somebody's passed. Keep your eye out for the uniform picture is what he says to you, okay? So just keep an eye out for the uniform picture, and then you got to come back and tell me what that is when you figure it out, because it's going to bother me.
I will, definitely.
Thank you
Tessa.
so much.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Bye.
Thank you for calling in.
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to try to jump over and see if we could grab this one. Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium. Nope. I think I lost it. Okay, so we've had a couple calls in between then. Let's try it again.
There we go.
Here we go. Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Hi, Tessa. It's Amanda. I'm looking to get a reading.
Hi, Amanda. How are you? Okay, so we have Jimmy here with me in studio. And is there a specific...
Hi.
Yeah. Is there a specific question or anything that you're looking for us to answer for you, or a person that you're looking to connect with?
Well, my dad recently passed away, so if there was anything that he wants to say or anything like that, I'm all ears. Okay. Or anyone, really. I'm totally open.
Was there something about your father passing quickly? Like, I almost feel like either the decline was quick, or there was something that would have happened very quickly. I also get this sense of, like, it literally almost made me stutter. Like, so something would have affected the speaking, the throat. There's something in the throat. What did you write down?
Head.
Oh, the head. Yeah,
Head
like
area.
I'm very much in the head area with them. And I feel like he covered his mouth, which is always my symbol for this would have affected my communication in some way. So that could also lead to like him being able to say goodbye and things like that. So do you understand that part of it?
Yes.
Okay. I do feel as though there's something very significant about his throat. He keeps going to his throat and touching his throat. And he keeps saying, can you let her know that it's better now? because something affected his throat. Does that make sense? And I feel like this would have upset the family, seeing this kind of go down, because I feel like your father was a very strong figure. I feel as though he was kind of like, you know, I want to take care of everybody. I'm never sick. I'm never anything. Like, just, you know, I'm going to be kind of the typical quote unquote man of the family. And so seeing him in that way was very hard for you guys, because it was a totally different side of what Dad normally would show you. You understand that? Because he really wants you to know. He's like, tell her my throat's better. Tell her, like, this is better. And
can you clarify really quick?
Yeah.
Well, when we were getting the head area, if that hits home, can you extrapolate? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, so far with everything, what happened was he was having trouble breathing right before COVID started in early March. He was having trouble breathing. He went to the hospital. They found out that his uvula had overgrown, but they couldn't do the surgery to remove the uvula because he then had pneumonia. So they tubed him and sedated him for a few weeks. For a few weeks, and then until the pneumonia cleared. When the pneumonia cleared, they wanted to take the trach out to see if he could breathe on his own, and if he couldn't, then they would do wherever they cut the throat and put the tube down it just to do the surgery, and then they would remove the tube. But when they removed the original intubation, he couldn't talk or anything, and he was struggling to breathe, and he denied. He said no, like, don't do the trach, don't do any of it, just stop. And he died within an hour.
Is there something about his eyes? Why does he keep talking about, he says, ask my daughter, something about his eyes or signaling to you with his eyes? Does that make any sense to you?
I don't know.
He keeps blinking a lot. Like, I don't know what that has to do with. It's just like blinking and like letting her know that I could see her. There was this point where he said that you guys felt like he didn't know that you were there, or he lost consciousness too. And so he's saying, like, I just wanted, I wanted to know I could see her. There's something about the eyes and being able to see you.
At the time when they were taking the tube out, none of us were allowed up at the hospital besides my aunt, who was his, you know, whatever they're called.
The proxy.
And so none of us were allowed up there. So I didn't even know that he had passed until he had already passed.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure, but...
Is there something about a handkerchief or a Kleenex? Like, does somebody... I know it sounds weird, but do you have, like, a handkerchief or, like, something in regards that he would... Because he shows me holding, like, a piece of fabric of some sort, and it's like somebody has...
My daughter has his Guns N' Roses T-shirt. She took him to her first concert, and that was their first concert together. So.
It's weird because it's almost like she uses it like a blanket. Like, does that make sense to you? It's almost like she keeps it with her, and it's almost like she sleeps with it. That's why he had me, like, holding it like it would be like a, you know, like a blanket.
It's huge. It's huge, and she sleeps in it. It's like a nightgown.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay. So he, you know, Spirit will validate those things just to let you know, A, that they're around, you know, the family.
Yeah.
And also that they see what it is that you're doing in order to keep them alive, you know. And so he wanted to bring that up. Jimmy, do you have anything else that you'd like to talk about?
I have a quick question. That I had two little things. What was his first name?
Sure. Thomas.
Okay. Do you know offhand, he's making a joke right now to me. I feel like he's in good spirits, which, you know... He's talking about, I feel like he would have been a jokester at times. Like, I felt like his sense of humor is kind of right up my alley. I feel like it's dry at times.
Very sarcastic very sarcastic and a crude sense of humor.
Yep,
I literally just saw, like, the honeymooners in my head, too, for some reason. Like,
so I got to ask, he's making a joke. He says, don't be surprised if the kitchen area at times is a hot spot for him visiting. He's talking about the refrigerator area, too. He's making a joke about him being ticked, that toward the end he couldn't, like, go into the fridge and get things. Do you understand this? Like, what did he like to
I'm
snack?
not sure. I mean, I know he had a lot of his. Yeah, I know he had a lot of his favorite foods. He was food diabetic too, so he had to watch what he ate. But he loves his fudgicles, and we just had bought in the box.
Ice cream.
So take that then as that he's making the joke that on this side now he can have the snacks. And one more quick thing that I was getting, I have to go back to the head issue. If there is somebody that has been getting lightheaded lately in the family, I'm not sure if that's who that would be.
His son, my brother.
That is dehydration.
Okay, cool. I will tell him. He's been getting crazy headaches. He's going on 2 years now of having brain surgery. So
Oh, okay. So my balance feels really off,
Yeah.
but here's the other thing.
Yeah.
He's gotta, in addition, I feel like there are little things that he's neglecting in his daily routine. Like I feel
self-care.
like the doctors are literally saying, stay hydrated, do X, Y, and Z, and he's not doing it. So dad is just kind of getting on him to literally go back to the manual for what he's been told to do and do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will.
Self-care.
I will definitely tell him that because he always feels like Dad doesn't come to him. My daughter is very intuitive and gets dreams about my father all the time, and he comes and tells me and her stuff, but nothing ever for him. So he will be pleased to know that.
I do want to say this too. I remind people pretty much every week because that's a common thing as well. It's kind of like, well, you know, you're telling me that he's around me and he, you know, they're validating these things, but why is it that I don't feel it? And the reason is sometimes when people grieve, we will put up this wall kind of around ourselves because it's grieving, it's sad, and we protect ourselves kind of unconsciously. So it's not that he's not around him, it's just that he's grieving, and that's his way of protecting himself unconsciously. Okay, so just remind him that he is there, and that he is very much aware.
I definitely I do what you do. I'm Amanda Sue, so Mandy Sue. So I do what you do, but I can never ever get in tune to myself and get anything for myself. So I always have to rely on everybody else. But
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
You too.
Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Hi. This is Jim. Just calling in.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm well. How are you? I'm sorry.
Did he say my name?
I'm doing well.
No, your name is
Pardon
Jim,
me?
correct? Your name is Jim?
Yes. Yes,
it's another Jim. Okay, great. Now, so we have a Jimmy here in studio with us. Do you have a question for myself or Jimmy?
Yeah. I mean, mother passed away, called about 5 years ago now. A lot of shakeup in the family, especially a lot of things going on these past year or so, changing in my family. Haven't been able to get to the grave as much as I'd like to, but always praying there. So seeing if there's any sort of connection that there might be, seeing if there's any sort of possible advice or messages that may come through.
Now, the funny thing is when you first called in, Jimmy wrote maternal, you know, on he's got a little, what is it, like an iPad.
Yeah,
and I heard a woman, I kind of felt a woman step forward. Can we just have her first name?
Michelle?
Michelle, okay.
Do you mind? So I'm sorry, really quick. Here's the thing. Do not beat yourself up for not getting to that gravesite. So it's going to sound really generic, the message that I'm giving you, but I'm almost getting the impression while she was here, at times would she have been very much a stickler for tradition and weird little rules and things like that?
In a way, yes.
So she says, throw those out the window, Jim. She was like, because here's the thing, she's like, really, again, she's in great spirit. She's like, let it go. She was like, you have to understand, I love what she does. She's like really old school. I like her. Yeah. She takes my hand because she's like very like, I'm not going to tell you. She's like, I'm going to show you. So I got to tell you too, really quick, Jim, if you ever feel like you're physically being touched or something like that, that's her. So she does something and she takes my hand and she says, you can have me here. And she points to her heart. She goes, do not have me here. She says, I need you to let go of the family chaining me here and guilting themselves for things that they don't need to guilt themselves out. She goes, if you want to do something, keep me here with the memories and the photos and things like that. But she says, don't chain me.
I want to kind of jump off of that because as you're reading that, I keep feeling like she was such a strong woman in the sense that she was kind of the rock where she wanted to make sure she would take care of everybody and she didn't want anybody worrying about her. So I almost feel like too in regards to treatments and stuff like that, I don't know if she kind of shied away from it or just said like, I don't want it. And that kind of jumps back to what Jimmy was saying in regards to her being kind of old school. It's kind of like, I don't want to take that stuff. I don't want medication. I don't want it to be that way. And she just kind of, I think, accepted it before anybody else did. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, to an extent. I mean, she did get treatments. She was a strong woman. She took the treatments on, and I think it may have gotten to a point where it just kind of wore down as strong as she was to the point where, all right, I've done my job, and I think the treatments just need to stop now. Let me kind of be myself in a way.
And I think that's where she was kind of, that's kind of what she was leading toward was that moment of like, that I've had enough. Like, and that's where she had the acceptance before I think you guys did. And she just wants you to, and this is kind of piggybacking off of what Jimmy said, of where like, she doesn't want you guys to guilt yourselves or blame yourselves. It was kind of like, that was my decision. I was just ready. Okay. So know that she's at peace and she's okay.
Really quick too, Jim, were you there with her when she passed? Who was there family-wise?
Sisters and father.
Say it again?
Father.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Both my sisters and father were.
Gotcha.
Okay.
There was family outside the room too, but
just know she's just acknowledging that this is for them then. She's just smiling and she's like, I'm so grateful that they got to be there with me, to kind of help usher me in to the other side. So she's appreciative.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling in. I'm very sorry for
absolutely.
your
Thank
loss.
you.
Yes, thank you so much. You have a good night.
Bye.
You as well. Thank you.
Ready?
It's hopping tonight.
It's hopping. I know. Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Hi.
Hi. Who are we talking to, and where are you calling from?
Jackie from Jersey.
From Jersey. How are you?
What's the first name again?
I'm good. Jackie.
Jackie, sorry.
Awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in and for giving us a call. I have Jimmy here in the studio with me. Do you have a question for myself or Jimmy?
Not so much a question. Just going to see if you have a message for me from anyone.
Okay. Immediately I get two people initially. I keep feeling like there's a younger energy as well as a father energy. So did you lose dad more recently or a father figure to you?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Because it feels as though it would have been like a father. He steps into kind of, in my mind, like the fatherly role or somebody who would have looked after you in a sense. I also feel like there was something progressive or something that would have affected him for quite some time. Would that make sense to you?
No.
Okay, who's the other energy then who would have had a progressive illness? Because I said there's more than one. So sometimes having both here can kind of crisscross. But there's somebody who would have had something.
No.
I'm sorry, you got cut off.
That would be my mom.
Your mother?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so would dad have passed from something quick, whether it be, I felt like an impact to the chest. So whether that be like a heart attack or something that would have caught him quickly, like to the point where he didn't even know he was going to pass?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to
It's not my dad, it's my kid's dad.
It's your kid's father. Okay. Jimmy, did you have something? I didn't want to cut you off.
No. I immediately, Jackie, when you called in, so what I do, some mediums do it differently. Some draw. I scribble sometimes because it helps my brain wave. So if you're watching, you're like, what is he doing down here? I'm not like talking, about people. I'm not like, or drawing Pictionary. I immediately got heart. Can I ask though? Got it. Who found him? Because I'm the way I'm looking at it, like it still is sitting with me. Like whoever saw it.
It's the weirdest thing. I almost want to say there's something about like, because he showed me like going into the garage. It was almost like I had to leave for work, or I had to, like, he was ready to go about his day in a sense. Like, I'm getting ready, I'm going to work. I have to like go about my day, and this hit him. And the weird thing is I feel like he had signs of it before, but he didn't acknowledge it. It was almost like he didn't want to say anything to anybody to upset you, but it was almost like he was getting pains, or there was something that would have given him the idea that something's not right, but he was ready to kind of go about his day. Does that make sense? Because he said, I just went about my day normally.
Who found him, Jackie?
Well, it was an accident, so I don't really know exactly the first person on site who found him.
Oh, hang on really quick. Was this the car accident?
The motorcycle accident.
Oh, okay. So I think I was getting mixed signs. Can I ask, what's his first name?
Roland.
What was it, Roland?
It's Rolando, but yeah, Roland.
Okay. So, one second. Sure. Okay, a couple things. Can I ask, Rolando's mom, is she deceased?
No.
Because I'm getting the older, and I got to ask too, who's the one that I got initially though felt really old? I mean, a male who would have been really up there.
And who passed away more recent?
Oh, no, it doesn't have to be recent. Just know that that's the person that I got coming through for you.
Oh, wow.
Like, I felt like they had a long life.
I don't know.
I don't mean, can I just say something? I want to just say really quick, so your husband was the father figure that was coming through. He did acknowledge getting into a garage and kind of going about his day in a sense, and this happened on a motorcycle, correct?
Right.
Yes, okay.
And it did happen quite a while ago, so that could explain the long time ago, I guess.
Do you have
but he's not older.
Do you have 2 children, and is there a junior to that?
I do have 2 children with him, yes.
Okay.
But no junior.
Okay. I don't know why he keeps bringing up the junior. I don't know if there was supposed to be another baby or if there was something like talking about it and talking about the junior, or there's some connection to that he's bringing up.
I wound up having another baby in the last 5 years. So.
Okay, because he keeps bringing up the other baby. And it's strange because he's going to be very protective over all the children, regardless of if it was his or not. He wants to make that very clear to you. He's saying, like, I'm protecting all of them as if they're still my own, okay? And so he is very much around the kids as well as the new baby. Is the new one a boy?
No.
Okay. Who's the boy? Do you have a boy?
My oldest.
Your oldest, and he looks like him? He looks like him, correct?
Just like him.
Okay, maybe that's why he kept calling him my junior, because he kept saying, like, there's a junior. There's one that looks like me, or there's one that's just like me. And then he acknowledged the new baby, and he wants you to just know very, very importantly that he's around all of them, okay? Because I think that's been something that's been on your mind. Like, are you still watching? Do you know about the baby? Are you okay with this? And he's like, I just want her to be happy. You have this level of restraint where you're happy to an extent, and then you don't allow yourself any further than that. And he's like, I really just want her to let go and be happy. Okay.
Wow, thank you for that.
Jackie, one other quick thing.
welcome.
I'm so sorry. Do one of your children, are they interested in like winter sports, like ice skating? Does somebody do that? I see somebody like in cold weather outside. Are they interested in starting something up?
I have a nephew who snowboards.
Okay, because this is where I feel like he just gets protective. I feel like your nephew is not taking proper precaution to be safe when he's out there. And so please, by all means, do not think that I'm getting something bad. He's just being proactive, and he's like, wise up, and I feel like he needs to use more gear to protect his body, is what I can tell you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do want to acknowledge, too, your mother is with you and the kids as well. Is there also a birthday coming up for somebody? Because I keep hearing, can you tell her that I said happy birthday?
Yes, my youngest.
Okay, for the new baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so your husband, or he wants to acknowledge the birthday, and he keeps saying happy birthday, happy birthday. Yeah, thank you so much for calling in. I really, it's...
Thank you.
Thank you for trusting us to connect with your loved ones.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. All right. We have another caller. One after another.
That's good.
Let's see if it'll come in. Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Hi, Tessa.
Hi.
This is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I have Jimmy here in the studio with me. Do you have a question for us?
I'm just wondering if my dad is around me in my house and is present with us all the time.
So, generically, I always tell people, because it's very true, that spirit is they're with us all the time. They really are. That's why, when they bring through evidential information, it's because they're watching over you. They're with you, especially during hard times. So when people have a really hard time, spirit shows up a little more often. So I do want to say that he's very much around you. Can I just have his first name?
Paul.
Why do I keep getting something with his head? Was there something up in the head that bothered him, or was there, I keep getting something in the head and something in the chest. So I don't know if these went
He did have a heart attack, and I was downstairs with him, and he fell down and hit his head on my coffee table.
Okay, because he connected the two. It was almost like the heart then triggered the head in a sense. He keeps saying that there was, he's again, you know, he says, please stop beating yourself up over it. Was there something about, like, I don't know if there was a disagreement between him and somebody else very close to the time of the passing, because I feel like somebody also holds strong feelings in regards to whatever the disagreement was, because he didn't expect to pass, because I don't feel like he was sick. Like, I don't think that this was something you guys saw coming. So I don't know where that is, but he keeps saying he wants people to let go of those hard feelings, or thinking that A, there could have been something done to change this, and B, that he doesn't hold any hard feelings in regards to whoever that disagreement was with. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you have anything, Jimmy, to add to that.
Quick question for you, or I guess first, did he smoke? Who smoked? Because I smell smoke in your house, but I know that it's not you.
My dad smoked, and I do smoke. I smoke outside.
But here's what's interesting. There we go. Because I'm like, well, you're getting it in the house, though, and I don't feel like this is your brand that you smoke. I smell it sometimes around you, so just know that that's him. One other thing, though, that he wants to clearly acknowledge, though, and I don't mean this rudely, he does step forward and take some accountability in his passing. And while it still was an unfortunate accident, I do get the impression at times he could have taken better care of his health. Do you understand that?
Yeah, we all know he could have.
He's also making a joke about having a belt now. Did he sometimes not wear a belt with his pants? Like, were they drooping sometimes, or what was the joke about the belt?
Yeah.
Because he goes, Jessica, I got a belt now, and he's showing me. He's like, he still has the tag on it, and he's like, isn't it nice? So you just know that he's good. Really quick too, can I ask, did he have a brother?
No brother that we know of.
Okay, because when Tessa was talking about some of the disagreements, I saw almost like a male figure that there was some disagreements with before his passing, or some, and he hopes that they can move on from that. Does that make sense?
I'll have to think about who a disagreement was with, but he did not have brothers.
Okay, that's okay.
He had a lot of sisters.
Can I ask real quick, was there something that you guys did yearly, like a yearly trip or something, like a family trip that you guys went on? I almost see, like, you know how people go away.
Thank you for joining us.
Like something along those lines. Was there something that was planned every year with him? Because he says he still wants the family to do whatever was planned. And I feel like either it was postponed or people don't want to continue on with that.
We had been going when us kids were younger. We hadn't in like maybe 10 years before he died.
And you have children now?
Yes.
He's like, can you just take the kids instead now? Like, I want her to continue on what we used to do as a family. And I don't know if that was something you had thought about doing to kind of keep that alive, or like
actually, yeah. We just got back from camping, not in the area we used to go, but we do go.
Good. He's happy about that. He's happy about it.
One quick thing that he's thrown into, Jessica, as a joke. I'm not sure if somebody has been kind of him and Han. Now that the, do you find that do you like to get your toes done? Your nail, like your who goes to get their feet, like a pedicure, or somebody, have they been contemplating it, but they're kind of still skeeved out about going out with the virus, because he says just go out, get it done, and just be safe. Who would that be?
Well, me and my mom and my daughter all go. Me and my mom haven't been since the virus. I just finally did my own toes the other day.
Okay, so he says if you want,
right there with you.
I get the impression he's making a joke. I don't want to say the whole thing, because I like his sense of humor, but he's making the joke that like. He's just like, about touching your own toes. He just says, like, have somebody else do it for you. So he just says that, feel free. He goes, he wants you to know that be smart, be safe out there, but he's also protecting you guys big time.
Yeah.
He also goes for car rides with you quite a bit.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
We have so many calls tonight. We didn't even get to check in, Peter. How's everything going with the comments and people on our feed.
Busy.
Hey, Julian, he's right on the ball back there. Actually, what mostly we've had here, I do have one question for you, but before I do, a lot of people are picking up on the energy tonight. A number of people, Bia, if I've got her name right, from California, and picked up on the energy. So did Laura Curtis Hood, picking up. You guys are amazing. The energy together is incredible. I'm not here to be a fan club, but it's good for you to know that everyone online has really been responding. And we have a Kendra Irwin, who just piped in, and she has a question for you, as her birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
But she says, Kendra Irwin, she does give her brother's name. It's Kevin. I just want to see if they can tell me if my brother Kevin is still around, or is around, since it's close to my birthday tomorrow. So I'll leave you with that.
I want to start off by talking about our energy. It must have been all of our Golden Girl references. We were sitting here in the studio just laughing for like 30 minutes, you know. So, yeah, we have good energy going. And we knew it was going to be a night of a lot of different readings and stuff like that. We are getting a call, but I'd like to answer her first. So I saw that you wrote something down, Jimmy. You go ahead and you start off. Whoever's calling, please just hold on 1 second and then give us a call back.
So Kendra... Kendra? Kendra, I'm sorry. It's weird not being able to see or hear you. I'm not sure if I'm getting something over here on the right side of the head, so I'm not sure if this is Kevin, if there was trauma to this side of the head, but it's like, whatever it is, I feel like it took him out really fast. He doesn't want you to mistake the nature of his passing with I understand. I'm going to not say some stuff on the air, Kendra. I get it. Okay. He doesn't want you to mistake that how he passed or with the fact that he wouldn't be around. He's around you quite a bit. He's making a joke about some balloons and stuff like that. I feel like he's also saying something about at times you wish that you had more of the okay, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but the way he's speaking right now, it's a little fast. He wants you to know that they take care of you in spirit. So while you might not have maybe a huge gathering tomorrow with tons of balloons and stuff like that, where I feel like you would kind of want it, they're taking care of you. So just know all that's there.
I'm going to answer this call really fast.
Good luck, Kendra. You can message me too if you want to talk about it more.
Yes. Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Hello, I'm Jacob.
Hi, Jacob. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York City.
Yeah. Awesome. Yay, we love the city. How you doing tonight?
Good. How's everything with you guys?
Very well. Lots of good energy here. I'm really happy that you called in. Do you have a question? I have Jimmy here in the studio with me. Do you have a question for him or myself?
I just wanted to see if there was anybody on the other side that had a message.
You have a younger male who steps forward, I feel, immediately. Is there a younger, whether it be a friend or a family member that would have been close in age with you who passed?
Not that I could think of.
Okay, because I feel somebody who would have definitely passed before their time, and it's a male figure. I'm going to ask to clarify that for you. I keep feeling as though that they passed very quickly, unexpectedly. Like, I don't know if this was... I keep hearing like it was an accident, but I feel like it happened very quickly, okay? I also have another figure here. I almost feel like a mother figure or somebody who would have been a female, and I feel like their passing was almost like you knew it was coming in a sense, so whether they be sick for a while and then kind of passed. Again, I feel like a slippery slope, so I feel like it happened fairly quickly. So do you understand who either of these people would be?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. I know Jimmy's over here, and he's writing some stuff down. Go ahead and tell us what you're writing down.
Sorry, I'm just kind of writing furiously away. I could be off on this name because it could be for somebody here. Jacob, really quick, is there an S name?
An S?
S, like as in Sally?
No.
Okay, so really quick, the other notes that I had then, I've got, I want to say it's maternal grandmother coming through right now. I like her a lot. I feel like who's the spicy one? I feel like she had like a mouth on her.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Would this be the mother figure or the grandmother?
Yes.
I feel like she has a potty mouth, so I'm like, you come sit next to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's
She's
talk, like,
fun.
let's say dirty words together. I like her a lot. She also is giving me the impression, can I ask, did you not start off in New York? Because she's talking about...
I keep feeling like traveling or having to move or relocate.
She's talking about the importance of pursuing dreams right now. Can you clarify on that?
Yes, I could, 100%.
Yay. Where are you from originally, or is it New York, or what do you mean?
I'm from New York, but I recently just went to school in California to play football.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations on that. That's amazing. Was Grandma from someplace else? Did Grandma relocate here to New York?
No, she's from New York.
She is. Okay, because there's something about relocation. So if it's not for her, then obviously she's talking about you and the California trip. So congratulations on that. She did talk about her passing. Like I said, it was like it was drawn out, but then it was like this slippery slope where it was like one thing just led to another and it happened very quickly. I almost want to say like, I keep wanting to place her in somewhere that people weren't able to see her, so I don't know if it was hard for people to come and see her. But I feel like it happened so quickly that some people feel as though they weren't able to say goodbye.
Yes.
Okay. So know that she's okay. Know that she's around. She knows that people wanted to come because I feel like it's the weirdest thing. I feel like I'm caught in traffic and I can't get there. You understand what I'm saying? Like I feel like there's somebody who holds on to the fact that like I was stuck. I couldn't get there, whether it be at work or in a different state, like something along the lines of I couldn't get there in time. So she's kind of like, just know that I knew that they were coming. Like I knew that they were on their way, that they love me, and I'm fine.
Yes, that's accurate.
Okay.
Jacob,
perfect.
can I ask too? Was there a heart condition? Who had like? It's going so fast for me right now, and I'm almost feeling like was she fired up easily? Would she have been a nervous person?
She was definitely an easy, fired up person.
Okay, she wants you to know that you have the spirit of a fighter in you. She also cannot stress enough. She says, make no mistake, and she's like touching your face right now. She's like, she went down fighting, is what I can tell you, and she wants you to know that you have the exact same spirit in you. And I feel like, do you have a child yet? Because she's also talking about if you don't, the baby's coming down the line. And she says that there's going to be like little bits of her energy and her spirit in the to be specific, she says in the male child.
In a male child?
Male child to be coming. Do you have a child?
Oh, no.
That's okay. You will. It's coming down the line. You know what?
Be prepared.
But that energy is going to be there big time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to throw this in there really quickly too. I feel as though, I don't know if your grandmother was a reader. There's something about like, and when I say reader, like I see just books and like she was the type of person, and I don't know if she like never felt she pursued education, so she would do it on her own because I feel like she just knew a lot of everything. And you're kind of like, how did you know that? And she literally talks about like education and books, and she's like, as Jimmy was talking about her saying you have a lot of her in you, this is the same thing. It's almost like if you don't know how to do it, you're going to figure it out. And she talks about these books that she had and like reading constantly. So, you know, she says use that to your advantage. Like she feels as though, I don't know what held you back, because I feel like going to California was this big thing for you because you held yourself back for quite some time, and she's happy that you actually pursued it because she's like, he's got it in him. He's just got to go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Jacob,
I don't know
really
if there's
quick
anything
too.
else.
One thing I'm so sorry. She's just being insistent on this. I don't think it's her. Is somebody experiencing like stiffness or soreness in one of the legs right now? Is this you?
No.
Did she then? Was there mobility issues then?
It was a little bit.
Okay, because she was making my leg feel rigid, so I just wanted to ask first if it was you when you were talking about sports, but that's okay. That's just a little validating thing that I got. My right leg was tensing up, and it felt like it was going rigid.
I almost feel like there's a man with her. Has your grandfather passed as well?
No.
Okay, who's the man who would have passed with her? Because I feel like I almost feel like, Jimmy, you're picking up on the man that's with her. I don't know if this was like
And somebody had a really weird
like
pet growing up, too. The pet is with them now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if the pet was a nuisance or whatever pet it is with them.
Wow, I think I know who that man is.
Who's that?
My father.
Okay, yeah. Because she keeps talking. Now, was there something affecting his walking or his mobility?
No.
Okay.
Can I ask really quick, too? Just because here's the thing. Like, when we keep going, can we ask? I just want to preface it. If you're watching at home, we do not know everything. So please never, think that mediums are. I just, It's
not fishing. The thing is when in our position, it's almost like we have a crowd of people around us, and we don't know who they are. Like, they're with you. They're not with us. Technically, we're just meeting them now. So when we ask questions, it's because we want to know who that is. Who is that to you? You know what I mean? Because we know what we're seeing and feeling. but we need to know who that is for you, or if you understand and it is connected to you, because we have like a whole studio of people here, so we got to make sure that we're with you and not with somebody else here in the studio.
Who was the weird pet then, or what was the pet that's now with them?
I can't picture that.
I feel like
if it doesn't make sense now, it's going to. It always does.
Just whoever had the pet, it wasn't the smartest. Like, I'm going to leave it with, I feel like somebody had a bird. Somebody had a bird growing up.
A bird.
A bird.
I can't.
That's okay.
I don't know.
Take it for what it is, but the bird was dumb, and it's making me laugh. Like the bird's flying around, hitting.
My
the
mother's
walls.
probably watching. It's probably her bird. I'm laughing. Thank you so much for calling in, though. I really appreciate you taking the time out, not only to tune in, but to call in as well.
Tell New York that I miss Blue Bottle Coffee really bad.
I know. We need to go to New York as soon as we can.
Bye, Jacob.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
A lot of New Jersey and a lot of New Yorkers calling in. It's weird. I got this following in Long Island years ago, and it's just.
I miss it so much.
I know. I miss it too. I really do.
Schmackery's cookies and.
What else, Peter? Is there anything else? Because I know we got to wrap up the show soon, and we've been having such good.
Yeah, no, we've had a great night. Everything was great. Kendra said that you were absolutely spot on.
Wonderful.
And she asked for your contact info because she wants to message you. So after the show, can you give that to me and I'll send it to her?
Kendra, I'm going to find you because I'll see your comments in there and I'll shoot you a message, okay?
Yep.
Oh, super.
I'm so glad that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Happy early birthday again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we keep getting calls, but I mean, we have to wrap up the show.
So one more.
You want to do
else?
I know.
Just
one more.
Really, maybe we should run the show till 9:30 and do an hour of the call in because so many people are picking up on it and really getting good feedback.
Yeah, we'll take one more call. We've had a couple in between. We'll take one more call. There it is. Okay.
All right. Who's on the line? It's a scam.
Could you imagine?
It's like a telemarketer.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Hi, my name's Dalton.
Hi, how are you?
Dalton?
Good, how about you?
Very well. Thank you so much for calling in. I have Jimmy here with me in the studio. Do you have a question for both of us?
I was wondering if you might be able to contact my Grandpa Mike.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Grandpa Mike. Okay, so what I feel immediately, I feel like I almost want to call him the entertainer. Like, the minute that I start picking up on him, I almost feel like he wants to grab the mic and be like, I want to get on this show too. So was he very, entertaining as a person, always kind of, singing and very happy, lively in the family?
That was more my Grandpa Ed.
Oh, your Grandpa Ed, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have that energy around you. He's who I pick up on first and foremost. And I do get this very, like I said, this entertainment side of him. And I feel like he was taken too quickly as well. I feel like his passing, he was kind of taken off his feet in a sense. I keep getting the sense he didn't even know what was coming. And he just really wants to acknowledge, I'm still, whoever they were here in the physical world is who they are when they pass as well. So know that he's okay. He's very upbeat. I really love his energy. Jimmy, I don't know if you're picking up on anything.
Yeah. Hi, Dalton. How are you?
Hi. Good. How about you?
Good. I got to tell you, he's so cute. I just want to squeeze him. So
I love his energy.
And it's sometimes we don't always get that with energy. So this one's fun. I have to ask, toward the end, was he slower moving?
Yeah, he ended up slowing down a little bit. He had a cabin in the southern tier, and me and him would go down, and I went down with him for the past 3 years. He just passed in February.
I'm so
sorry. And he started to slow down. I've actually had 3 grandparents that have passed in the past 2 years.
The reason I asked Dalton is the way he was moving in front of me, he almost had a shuffle to him toward the end. I could physically look at him and I saw that he was shuffling. He is so stinking cute. He also wants you to know, can I ask, he doesn't want you to worry. The way I'm seeing his passing, he says, I don't want you to worry, Dalton. He says, I heard what you said before I left. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
He's so insistent on it right now. Can I ask? Oh, he's giving me goosebumps. Oh, hi. He's here with. Oh, he's
There's
here in the
another
room.
woman too who's with him.
Really?
Yeah, I keep feeling another woman.
One-
He just held her hand and brought her forward. Go ahead.
He just wants to add one more thing. I didn't mean to cut you off. Are you in a relationship currently?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually engaged.
Yay.
I just got engaged
Yes.
3 weeks ago.
Okay, because I didn't want to say it on the air. I was like, Dalton, I'm going to private message you later. I was like, we got to talk about this. Just know he's so thrilled about the engagement. And just know he was present for it. I feel like he's making a joke like he was like the little photographer at the session. He could not be more proud to welcome them into your family. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I just feel like they're a good fit, and I also feel like, I'm just going to be blunt, he says that whoever you're with right now, they also call you out on your crap so fast in a funny way. Yeah. So he was like, I just like that they're a good fit for you.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is did you have a grandmother who passed as well? Because I feel like she was kind of a very similar energy where she would just call people out and very like, you know, saying what's on her mind constantly, because they're referencing like grandma as being very similar to kind of your fiance, in where they just kind of like call people out. They're very outgoing, very fun.
Yep. I had a grandma Bernie, but her husband was my grandpa Mike that passed.
Okay.
One other thing, Dalton, I'm sorry, are you going to like inherit this cabin?
I want to buy it. That's my thing, but I just don't have finances too.
Don't worry, is what he's telling me.
It's almost like it's going to be handed to you in a sense for some reason. Yeah.
And he says that when you do get it, Dalton, he's really insistent. He says, do what you want with it, is what he says. I feel like if you're afraid down the line to change up little things in it because you're worried about disrespecting his memory or the memories that you made there with them, he says, nope, it's time for new memories, is what he says. Okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Dalton, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Yeah, we're taking another one.
Oh my God, I'm your.
I'm sorry.
What?
I couldn't
Hello?
hear you. Hi, how are you?
I'm well and in shock. I didn't think you were going to answer another call, so I'm super excited.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Sure, my name is Jan and I'm calling from Guilford, Connecticut.
Connecticut, wonderful. Janet, thank you so much for calling in. I have Jimmy here, and is there a question that you have?
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi.
Yeah, for the both of us, is there something somebody you'd like to connect with, or a question?
Sure. Well, I always like to know what my dad is doing, maybe, since he's not with me anymore.
Sure. Are you the youngest? He keeps saying, my baby girl, my baby girl. Are you the youngest? Because he keeps...
Yes, I am.
Okay, because he keeps saying, oh, my baby girl's on the line. That's my baby girl. So know that he acknowledges that as being, you kind of being, I don't want to say this and like offend the siblings, but like the special one to him, because you were the littlest one. So know that he's referencing you as that. He's also saying that, I don't know if there was a misdiagnosis of something. Like, I almost feel as though something was either overlooked or misdiagnosed at a point. Like, it's almost like I thought that I was sick with this, but it was actually this, come to find out. Does that make sense to you? Or something overlooked.
It makes sense to me, and probably not in the way that you think it does.
Okay.
But it makes sense to me.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
As long as it makes sense to you. Because I keep feeling like it was like
people
overlooked this, or they thought I was okay, but I wasn't. And so
okay.
I do want to say immediately, he was like, there was nothing anybody could do. Okay, because they don't ever, the Spirit never wants us to feel guilt or feel as though we could have changed anything. And so he wants you to know nobody was supposed to know. Does that make sense? He was like, I kept this a secret. I kept things.
Yeah.
He literally covered his mouth and was like, I kept this a secret.
Okay.
But know that he's okay.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I want to throw this over to Jimmy for a moment because I feel like you're picking up on something. And
Yes,
I
I'm
don't
like
wanna,
jotting
I
away.
know, he's like scribbling.
A couple things that I need. Jan, do you have children of your own?
I do.
Okay, he wants you to know two things. I feel like there's times where you don't pick up on him as much, but the other ones in the family do. I feel like the kids are aware of him, and I also want you to know, I'm not sure if something's going on with your mom right now, but he's keeping a close eye on Mom. What does that mean?
Okay.
Do you understand?
Well, that's complicated, Jimmy. They were divorced when he passed, but had a very special bond. So
Sure.
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. It's almost like a soulmate connection. Sometimes, soulmates aren't meant to be technically together here in this life. Sometimes they're meant, I personally believe, to bring through a child or something along those lines, but you stay connected, and he's very protective of her.
Yeah.
Okay? So know that he's around her, and he's around you guys all the time.
Who fished really quick?
I love that. Sure.
Did he fish?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
Did somebody fish, Jan?
Oh, boy. I own a seafood restaurant. We
Because
fry
I was
a lot of fish.
Thank you. Because here's the thing: my husband and I live down the road from a seafood market, and I, no offense, I hate the smell of it, and it was coming in, and I was like, and,
Don't you hate when they do that? They're like, they make you smell things or hear things or feel things.
So I wanted to ask it that way he would stop making the scent happen.
Yeah.
But he's also really quick. He wants to tell you he is so proud of you, Jan, for how you're handling your business right now.
Oh, wow.
Do you understand?
Thank you for that.
And one quick
He
thing.
keeps saying, please don't give up on it. I don't know if there was a thought of like, I can't do this. This is getting tough. He's like, you're able to handle it. Don't give it up. Okay.
And he
Every morning. So, okay, that's great.
You need a sticky note. You need like a sticky note of what he said. He said, put it like on your mirror.
To tag on to that before we
great.
let you go, he's also talking about upping the social media presence of what you're doing. There is somebody in the family that can actually help you with that.
I think I might know
He
who
says,
that is.
"Oh, duh."
No,
He
that's
goes,
perfect.
use the one that's always on their phone.
Okay.
Okay.
I will do that, absolutely.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Getting people from everywhere tonight.
This is fun.
It is. We could go all night, really. And we still have callers calling in. I mean, it's really fun. And I love it. And it's strange because, like, before the show, we were saying, like, I feel like tonight's going to be
busy.
a lot. Like, it's going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of calls, a lot of, and I think all passings for everybody individually is heavy, or it's hard for people individually. We all take it.
Lots of dads tonight,
Lots
too.
of dads, yeah.
You'll find, too, that, like, if you're watching at home, I find it as mediums, when you're first learning to develop your ability, develop your ability, you get things in phases.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you are, because they want to test you to make sure that you're remembering the flashcards that they're giving you. So if you're getting like a dad, the next week I might get a ton of dads.
Yeah.
Or if you're getting infertility, you might get infertility the rest of the week because they're like, hey, we're going to teach you this sign and here's your flashcard. And so, yeah.
No, absolutely.
The more you know at home.
The more you know.
The more you know.
All right, we're getting another call.
Can we take it?
Let's take one more. Ready?
I know it's
Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Hi. My name's Michaela. I've actually done a reading with you before.
Oh, wonderful. Hi, Michaela. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
I have
Thank you for
Jimmy.
answering.
Yeah, absolutely. I have Jimmy here in the studio with us. So is there a question that you have for either of us?
I just want to know if my grandpa's been present lately, or my great-grandmother.
Jimmy, I'm going to throw this over to you.
Sure. Hi, Michaela.
Hi.
Okay, here's the thing that I'm getting. Do you understand with Grandma, did she wear like a stronger perfume?
I'm not really sure.
I can smell her like a
I
mile.
don't think so.
Maybe it's him. I can smell somebody though really strong, and it's not a bad smell. It's just heavy. It's like cologne or perfume. Who would that be?
Oops. Oh, I think we lost her. Are you there?
She's like, I didn't like that. Bye. I'm teasing you, Michaela.
No, I know. It just could be. Who knows? Who knows? That's okay. Well. Okay, so you can call back if you'd like. We've just had, there's so much energy to pick up on, you know? And I feel like the people who've been calling and we haven't been able to, like, we start picking up on things that, you know, when you're calling in and stuff like that, like, I feel like they come to us because they know that they might have the chance to talk, and there's just, like, a whole room. There's a whole crowd of people. Let me see if this is her. I'm not sure the number. Hi, you're on A Night with a Medium.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, who are we talking with?
Arlene?
Arlene, hi. Where are you calling from?
New York.
New York, awesome. Okay, So I have Jimmy here in the studio with me. I know we lost another call, but we have one more call. You're the last call for the night. So do you have a question for Jimmy or myself?
I just, really honestly, I've never done this before. So I just kind of, I have, you know, like my grandmother who passed away, and I just kind of, you know, wanted to give it a shot.
Right.
Arlene, can I ask, because part of me wonders if it wasn't...
I know, I was going to say.
Did your grandmother have like a really sweet fragrance-smelling perfume that she wore?
Yeah, so she, Paris by
Yes.
Yves Saint Laurent was like her favorite fragrance, and she wore it.
I have to
right
I have Yves Saint Laurent on right now.
Do you? That is so funny. I gotta say this, so I want to announce
this. Oh, that's crazy.
We smell good.
I gotta say it though, because what happened is there was a caller before you, and he started picking up on this woman, but then the call dropped, and then you called in, and she didn't recognize the grandmother figure that she was talking.
I've been trying to call for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I just said too, I'm like, if people are calling in, we start picking up on people that are connected that know that they're going to get the opportunity to talk. And so the call dropped. Jimmy was picking up on this woman, and then you called, and it's actually for you. So you see how the universe works like
What's
that?
Grandma's name, Arlene?
Yeah, that's crazy. Her name was Gloria.
Gloria. She was like, beat it, Michaela. Sorry, Michaela.
Michaela.
Gloria. Okay.
Oh, honey.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, she was a little hothead. So
yeah, I was going to say she feels, the funny thing is sometimes they'll reference the people that we know personally, and she reminds me of my grandmother, like very Italian and very like, you know, she literally like showed me like being in charge, having like that wooden spoon, like I'm in charge and nobody really crossed me. Like what I said went. Does that make sense to you?
That was definitely my grandmother. Yeah, no, that was her 100%.
Yeah, so she's showing me my
she
grandmother.
Was very, very stern.
Now, the weird thing is when they reference somebody like my grandmother, I want to kind of go to their passing as well, because sometimes there's a reference to that. And I almost want to say that people didn't know, like people didn't expect her to pass when she did. Because I feel like
no, we didn't.
It's almost like this weird freak thing that happened. Is that correct? And was it something that like medically, I don't know if she was in a hospital or if something would have happened to her at a hospital that would have led.
Was.
Okay. Because I almost feel like she didn't go in with this, but she passed because of it. And this happened in the hospital. And I don't know if it was malpractice. Like, I'm not sure what it was. But, okay. Which is weird, because that when I said that she referenced my grandmother, that's what happened to my grandmother. So she's literally using my grandmother as a reference for you. Okay. So I almost want to say, too, I don't know if the family was going to pursue something in regards to, like,
my aunts were.
Okay. Because I feel like
the hospital.
She's saying, like, she's kind of giving me the shoulder shrug, like, really, it is what it is. Like, I keep feeling like she's very much like, it is what it is. I don't know if anything's going to come out of it. And she's kind of veering you away from even going at that right now. But she does want you to know that she's okay and that she's at peace. I do feel as though, too, there's something about carrying on her traditions. Are you the one that's carrying on her traditions, and you're kind of like trying to set the family straight? Like, no, she would have wanted us to do this. Let's do it.
Well, so because of her, I was close to her side of the family, and then kind of like after she passed on, I kind of like lost contact with them. But I ended up having my children about like 5 years ago. My son is 5, and I've kind of like tried to like stay in contact with them and like, you know, not so much as carry on traditions, but just have contact with them and, you know, to kind of make it feel like it did when I was growing up and she was involved.
Absolutely. She thanks you for doing that.
Oh, great. Thanks. Thank you, Grandma.
Before we end it, you know, Jimmy, is there anything else that you...
Yeah, Gloria, can I ask you a couple questions? Or Gloria. Gloria's is her... I'm so sorry, Arlene. Can I ask you a couple questions? Can I ask, in terms of the malpractice, was there some type of infection?
So I'm not exactly sure if there was an infection. I know that she had went into the hospital because she was having problems breathing. And then they put her in a medically induced like coma, and she never woke up from it. I know that the malpractice part was because they opened up a trach and she had like an irregular trachea, so it made her lungs collapse, which if they would have went through her paperwork, they would have seen. But I guess like they didn't. So it caused her lungs to collapse, and then after that, her organs started failing, and we lost her like about a week later.
Is there something about her jewelry missing too, like a necklace of some sort, or is?
Oh my God! You know what's crazy? Yeah, no, her ring. She used to have a green, like a ring with like a green emerald, and I used to wear it all the time. And
maybe
like
missing.
3 or 4 years after she passed, I lost it.
Okay. Did you move by any chance? Did you relocate, move? Because she showed me packing bags and moving.
Well, yeah, I don't live in the same apartment I used to live when I lived with her.
Okay.
After she passed.
She said it happened. There was something about like moving, or you were unpacking, or you were like moving things, and that's where it happened. Okay. So, but she is referencing that, and she's kind of like, it kind of happened when you were either moving things or renovating, or there was something going on, and she's like, that's kind of when she lost it. So she's just acknowledging that as validation for you, but.
I guess 2 quick things. She wants you to know she's really proud of you as a mother. I'm not sure if somebody somehow shares a name affinity with her. If she does an equal sign between a child. So I'm not sure if there's a part of her name that somebody has.
Okay.
And then she also was...
No, my children...
No? That's okay. She's also
so I wanted to name my daughter Marie for a middle name because my grandmother gave me the middle name Marie, but I removed the M, and so now my daughter's middle name is Ari, like Arie.
Oh, okay. And then the other thing that she wants to talk about, I'm not sure did she meet a couple cool people in her lifetime? Or the reason I ask is like she has like they show me my grandmother who read like the gossip columns, like the Inquirer, the Star. Did she read any of these magazines when she was alive?
No.
I don't
wonder
know
if that's somebody. There's somebody continuously calling in, so I don't know if that's for them.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Sometimes that happens. It happened with you, so sometimes that happens as
like
well.
A piggyback
but
jab.
it is. Yeah, it is. I really appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a good night.
Bye.
You too. Good night.
Good night. All right. As much as I want to keep going, I just don't think that we can.
But I mean, just know too, I mean, we both do readings, so you can
Yes.
always reach out, find us.
Yeah, that's the thing. We do personal readings, both of us. You know, I will put our information. Mine is on the page that it's on, but I will put Jimmy's information as well. You know, so if you do have questions, if there's anything you want to know, you could always book a private reading with us as well. You know, I'm kind of booked out I'm booking into, sorry, we keep getting calls. I'm sorry, guys. I'm booking out into August and September, but, you know, we have waiting lists and everything like that as well. So, Peter, is that all for right now? Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Next week's going to be awesome. It's going to be so much fun. We have somebody, I have an actor that everybody would know of from The Sopranos. Another one, I had Joe Ganasholi on before, but this is another guy from The Sopranos that's going to be on next week. He's taking the time out to talk with us. And I have a really good friend of mine, Kenny, who's going to be doing readings with me as well. So, you know, subscribe to my YouTube. Like I said, share and then comment somebody's name below that could also, you know, be interested in my YouTube channel. And I will be drawing a name next week from the people who have subscribed to my channel for a free reading.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in again. I just love you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us this evening. You can find Tessa on Facebook at her page Tessa Del Zoppo Psychic Medium. Her website is www.tessadelzoppo.com. And by telephone, you can reach Tessa at 716-226-0693.